and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, 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 rockin' robin, tweet.
Well, who do we have here? Welcome to Life is Good. I'm Heather McEwen, your ever-loving hostess, and...
Jeremiah Malhulish.
Jeremiah Malhulish is from Franklin County, where I used to live for 35 years. Well, or more. And amazingly, he went to Enosburg High.
It's true.
And I'm so glad he's over here now because Franklin County spirit melds perfectly with that of the Northeast Kingdom. So what are we doing here today, Drew?
This is Grateful. This is our 4th year in a row of doing Grateful. It's a cross-country mountain bike race right here at Memphremagog Trails.
And well, where was it before it came to Memphremagog Trails?
Prior to this, it was a Rasputista event that was held at the barn at the top of the world, and we've moved it down here this year for the first time.
And the roads and conditions are fantastic today. No rain this year. Last year you had 60 people?
We had 65 people despite the terrible weather.
And this year I'm going to film the start of the race. It's in 3 segments. Would you like to explain that to us?
Yeah, so we got 3 different options. Essentially what we're about here at Grateful is no pressure, no prejudice, so we want as many people to have access to this race as possible without feeling the pressure of a race. So we do a wave start. People have options to do 2 laps, which is pretty intense, 1 lap, or they can actually ride it at whatever pace they want. So it's not a race for them, but they still get to do the course themselves. So we send them out in 3 waves so nobody feels cramped and everybody has a good time.
And we're going to have a safety, well, what would you call it, safety announcement?
Yeah, riders check-in, safety meeting.
Very good, and I'm here as the medical unit. Sports are very healthy, but sports can also be very dangerous. What are you doing on this course to make it safe?
Everybody has options of any black diamond feature. There's ride-arounds. We really emphasize ride within your own limits so that people aren't taking unnecessary risks. And then in terms of the course itself, it's marked very clearly.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. If you've never been here, I don't know how to give you the address, but you take Union Street... 6500-ish, Darling Hill Road. That's what it says on Google. 6500-ish. That's from your name. Yes, right. 6500 ISH on Google Maps. It will get you here. There's a great parking area. You'll see what they call a yurt, which is a circular building with a sunroof. And it's gorgeous. I'd like to live in one actually, but I guess the updraft would be pretty bad in the winter. Then you can walk the trails yourself. Absolutely. And they're beautiful. In the winter you can cross-country ski on them, which is what I do. Snowshoe just off-trail a little so you don't mess up the cross-country ski trail. And all I can say is it's heaven to live here. It's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. So how many people are here today? We got, between 50 and 60 racers, and then in terms of how many people show up for the rest of the event this afternoon with music and food, hopefully hundreds. Talk about some of your sponsors. We're Community National Bank. Nora Beads is the charity we're giving to. And tell me more about that, please. I feel like Nora Beads would be who you should interview. They're a mental health organization around suicide prevention and mental health awareness, especially in young people. And then our other sponsors are J-Cloud, and we've been working with Louis Garneau as well. Okay, well, I've worn Louis Garneau shirts. When I worked for the Northern Star, they got us that as a uniform, which is great. But J-Cloud, Montgomery Center, Vermont, right on Main Street in the old Kilgore store. I just got a bike there, and you get 15% off everything you put on your bike, like the little streamers you put in your handles and the cards you put in. I'm sorry. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye, bye everyone. That was Jeremiah, and he's terrific. I didn't want to say that in front of him because it would go straight to his head. Not really, but. J-Cloud. I can't tell you enough about them. 15% off all of the little accoutrements you would put on your bicycle, from rear view mirrors to kickstands, baskets, to anything else you might need. Not a sunroof apparently, but I didn't ask. And for every year you get free tune-ups. And I just got a great bike there. Absolutely the best bike, I'm telling you. It fits me perfectly. It's light enough for me to schlep here, there, and everywhere, and it's solid. And I ride it between 40 and 50 miles every morning, and it gives me great satisfaction. So J-Cloud, Montgomery Center, if you're thinking of getting a good bike, and you need a good bike to be safe. That's one thing I love about this event, the safety. the encouragement, the well-marked trails. So Jeremiah does a great job, along with so many others who are on the board of Nymphomagog Trails. Make it part of your day. I'll be back with more interviews. Thank you.
So logistics. Obviously, safety, 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 that's priority. Every single road crossing, we are not stopping traffic, so please be aware of that. We have crossing road marshals at all the major intersections, but they're going to be stopping you, not the other way around. I think you guys all probably get that, but just be aware, especially these road crossings on the main road at the top, and then further down, cars rip around, so just be aware of that. Please be safe. When you are out on trail, please ride within your limits. There are some technical sections. There are some optional jumps and drops, but everything has a ride around. Everybody's potentially riding this course blind, so please ride within your limits. Don't do something that's going to require us to come get you. However, if we do, medical's right around the front, and we will have Heather rocking the medical tent, and how about massage? Bonus, right? Bonus. We're loving that. Any questions on that stuff right now? I'm a teacher, so I have to ask. In terms of the start, that is your start line right over there. There's a really well-made, not totally homemade start sign. That's your start. But here's what's going to happen. Because we've had so many people sign up for the 2-lap option, we're going to send the 2-lappers out first, followed by the 1-lappers a minute later, and then anybody who's choosing to just kind of ride it, hang out, party pace, we're going to send you probably 30 seconds after, so please be aware of that. It is a Le Mans start, which means you're running to your bike. I'm sorry. You are going to place your bikes over on the far left side before you enter the woods. I have spray painted the ground of where you can put your bike. If you're somebody who's like, yo, I'm going to win this race, probably put your bike at the front of that. If you're somebody who's like, I don't really care and I just want to ride my bike, maybe put your bike towards the back. Use your judgment. You know yourself better than I do. Once you get into the woods, it's all marked, it's all taped. You're going to come right up. You can see the tape right there. You're going to end up coming out right in between those pine trees. You're going to head up towards that white house. You have options. There is a mode switchback, or you can go straight up. You choose. Either one's good. They're both sloggy. They both suck, but you're going to get there. Any questions on that? Yeah, there's a sign that's kicking you up, but you can either take the mode switchback or you can just straight up. I'll be honest, I don't know if one's faster than the other one. It's whatever you prefer. It is going to be a little congested at the front, at the start, especially for the number of people doing the 2-lap. So again, when you get to that road crossing right at the White House, understand you might have to be a little patient crossing the road. It is timed, but I think everybody will all come out and wash at the end anyway, so please be safe. Any questions? Again, thank you guys so much for being here. I am Jeremiah Melhewish with Nymphomagog Trails. This is our 4th year of Grateful. This is the first time that we've been able to have it solely on our chapter's property. I really, really hope that you guys consider coming back and riding these trails when there is no tape. This afternoon, we got food, we got music, we got a bunch of different vendors who are going to be here, so please, when you're done, stick around. And if for whatever reason you're looking to make an entire weekend out of this, we have a drive-in movie, bike-in movie, that's even better, in Newport, 8 p.m.
Where?
We might move it indoors. So, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. You can set up your bikes anytime. We're going to get going in probably 10, 12 minutes. You'll hear a siren, 3, 2, 1, go. So have fun, be safe, and let's ride.
And here they come. Oh, here they come. I hope they don't overrun this tape or they're going to knock Felicia and I down. And it's the beginning of Grateful. And they don't look quite grateful yet. But first one on his bike. And first one on his bike. First one. And he's the man to watch. Followed by other people to watch. So much for my sports commentary, folks. I wasn't raised to do commentary. I was raised to race. And here come the people who want to have fun in the race. You know, I competed until I was older. I think I did my last professional race when I was 48. Not mountain biking, mind you. I never liked racing. Never. I love training. And these people who are starting out now, they all want to do their personal best. They all want to do their personal best. And if that is what you race against, you'll always have fun. This will be the second wave who only want to go around the course once. The first wave left and they're going to go around the course twice. And Jeremiah is just about to give the countdown. I prefer these countdowns to anything Elon Musk might say, to go down to any number as low as his level is. What a jerk. And yes, I'm on air. But, you know, I have to throw in a little bit of something to fill in the gaps between phenomenal good athleticism and good sportsmanship and the state of our country. And these folks are also running to their bikes to begin their long race, even though it's only one lap. And they're all laughing. They're defining the way they're running. I'm doing a casual jaunt.
Well, that was fun. Have a great ride. Thank you.
And they're off. Have fun. Big smiles all around. They're all smiling. And here comes Bevan.
Go, Bevan.
Bevan! I'll see you after.
First race in 20 years.
I understand. And they're gone. Oh, the woods looks... Oh, they look wonderful. I'd like to be in the woods right now. I love it in there. Woo! Here's the second place finisher. And as life is good gets everywhere, look where I am today, continuing the show. And I am going to be interviewing the wonderful people who are volunteering here, plus promoting their business. And here's some people right now.
My name is Devin Van Bockler. I'm a primitive living skills instructor, and I just started a business recently, which is the Ash and Birch Outdoor Education. And my goal, I work for Parker here, who is the owner of NEK Guides, and my hope is to be able to take off and start teaching some people about our roots and Aboriginal people, and you know why people should know about this kind of stuff, because it's just a good way to ground yourself to the natural environment around you.
Are you Abenaki?
I'm not, but I wish I was.
Iroquois? Mohawk?
Nope, I don't have any indigenous blood in me, unfortunately.
Doesn't matter. You can pick it up through your feet, through Mother Earth.
Yep. I've talked to some people out in Arizona when I was training, and they, every single indigenous person out there, most of them being Navajo, said, "You must be native." No, you act native, and you are native. You have native blood to you, or native feeling to you, but you're not. And that made me feel pretty special.
It is special, and I'll tell you, I trained for 3.5 years with a Native American medicine man.
Wow.
My name was Stupid White Woman. But he and his wife said, "Do you know why we're training you, Heather?" And I said, "Well, because we enjoy each other's company, and because I've always wanted to learn."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, it's because you do not pretend to be natives."
Yeah, that's the hard part.
The first thing people do when they join a native community, even by approximation in space, they start wearing beadwork, or they start doing other things, and I'm just me.
Yeah.
And the tribe wouldn't have had me anyway.
No.
But I loved it. It was the most learning experience I've ever had.
That's
and
amazing.
Yet, in 3.5 years, I picked up what was in the tiny tip of tiniest finger of what they knew at birth.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a very humbling
Oh, incredibly. There's not many people out there who you can talk to who make you feel so small in terms of knowledge.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally. No, they're not demeaning you. They know so much, and they could teach you for the rest of their lives, and you'll never know a tenth of what they know.
And the typical white man came across to this nation and decided to snuff them all out and then destroy them. And in Canada, where I'm from originally, they took the Native American children away from their First Nations parents and put them in abusive, horrible
very bad
Christian schools. And damn him, you know? I mean, it's a really bad word. I hear that damnation is the worst word you can have, but they damned a nation.
They did, yeah. There were a lot of American, you know, I don't even want to quote that. There were a lot of just American mindsets and laws and treaties and rules and force that was put upon those people all across the entire continent, and in order just to get rid of them, because in my opinion, and I could be wrong, because like I said, I don't have that indigenous heritage or blood to me, but I personally believe that because they were living in a way that true freedom and real life actually encompasses, that's why the white men were so afraid. Because if people came over here and learned and said, oh wow, these people are just living life. They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to do this. They don't have to go to work.
And they respect the land, and they take from the land only what they need.
Yeah, and they, they were stewards of it. I feel like if the white men caught on to that, they would have joined them. They wouldn't have tried to do what they did.
The problem with men and women of the, I don't know, white culture, they have an ego.
Oh, 100%.
And they're materialistic.
Very, very.
And I'm a part of, I was raised white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, you know, forgive me. I'm so lucky to have met teachers in my life who have shown me the error of those ways.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never been aggressive.
No.
And I think they look for that, when you join that group, even tangentially, you honor what they have in such a degree, and you're humbled by it. Mm-hmm. And they recognize that sincerity and will help you. And they would have helped every illegal immigrant that ever came over here if they hadn't decided to destroy what the beauty was.
Yeah.
I love you.
Thank you. I'm hopeful that, a lot more people, and if anything comes out about this, like, the monetary side of things would be nice. It'd be great to be able to make a living off of this. But the biggest...
Well, you're a capitalist, but that means you can still respect nature.
Yeah, and the biggest thing for me is wanting to be able to provide a platform to hopefully one of these days bring Indigenous people along with me. So I want to be able to provide a platform for them to be able to come teach about their heritage, their history, their skills, their knowledge, and have it be in a respectful, comfortable manner, and not have it be in a place where it's just some white man.
Oh, I hope so. I'm going to take your number and interview you more often.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're a wonderful human being.
Appreciate it.
Even though you're a white Anglo-Saxon.
Yeah, it's true. As white as I get, but I try to care where I can.
You can. It's your soul. It's not your skin. It's your soul.
Yeah, I appreciate
And if past lives ring true, you may have been here before.
Probably. Who knows? I hope so.
You're here to bring us forward.
I hope so.
Now here we have this young, lovely man. What a beautiful face you have. You do too over there, but
Yeah. How are you today?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. Wonderful.
What is your story, my love?
I'm Parker Castle, and I'm the owner of NEK Guides, a canoe outfit here in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont.
Not that I can tell. I mean...
You can tell, lots of canoes. Yeah. So we take folks on guided canoe trips, as long as offerings of canoe rentals, and our business ranges anything from day trips, car top rentals, and school programs. We do a lot of ed programs all across the Northeast Kingdom, and a lot of overnight trips, and get folks out paddling. That's our main priority, our main goal.
How do you get into the schools, and what's your pitch?
What's my pitch? I think all schools should get more students outdoors and be active.
I agree.
And I really enjoy, working with students and offering them a new perspective to the area they live.
You know what I noticed when I was watching you from a distance, which is probably about 100 feet? You weren't on your iPads and you weren't on your phones. How beautiful to see two people talking to one another. So what has you interested in all of this? What got you started?
What got me started? Well, I grew up, paddling with my parents and with families and getting out and exploring, and spent my teenage years working at a summer camp.
Which one?
I worked for Coots Moriarty.
Oh, of course.
Yep, and I've done a little bit with Northwoods as well, and was guiding trips, but also just running other camp programs, and then got hired as a outdoor guide for a sportsman's camp.
Where was that?
Quimby Country up in Averill, Vermont. Worked there for a few years. And
How old are you?
started my own business since
Are you
then.
31?
No, I'm 25.
25. Ah, he's done so much.
And so yeah, this is my 4th year in operation, guiding for myself, and I've got Devin here working for me, who's brought his own skills to the table with the primitive skills, which has been a wonderful addition to what we have on the river.
How many students pass through your doors a year?
Well, we typically do 8 large programs a year. That includes week-long programs, and then lots of small little trips and day programs intermingled between those larger trips. And each trip ranges somewhere between 6 students to 15 students for week-long programs.
Does your insurance cost a fortune?
It's pricey.
How do you get sponsored?
How do I get sponsored? Well, I've got some wonderful grant funds that have offered programming to the community, but also am billing schools directly for programs.
May I ask, if you were going to build an elementary school for, let's say, 10 children, what do you think that might cost?
So my daily rates are $560 a day.
Pardon?
$560 a day.
$560 a day, no matter how many children you have?
No matter how many children I have.
That's cheaper than daycare in America, folks. Get them out on the lake.
Yeah.
That's really fabulous if they split that up.
Yeah.
But the grants that you get, do you write your own grants?
I do some grant writing.
Oh, he's smart too. Look at that beautiful face, and he's smart. Of course, if you were a woman, they'd say, oh, that's really sexist. But I'll tell you something. It's nice to see you young people. Wonderful to see you young people knowing how to do your own thing.
Yeah.
And that goes without saying about Vermont people, but I am so proud of what you're doing here. I grew up on Lake Memphremagog. What's your favorite lake around here?
Ooh, my favorite lake. That's a really good question. I love the Averill Lakes. I don't know if you've spent much time up there. They're very remote two little lakes. Big Averill has some camps, and it's a little built up. There's some properties along the way, but Little Averill Pond is quite a special spot with a beautiful beach owned by the Nature Conservancy. That's a great picnic spot.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know. What do you think of what's happening to the water in Newport?
Just as the watershed as a whole and for Magog?
Yeah, I'm going over to interview the watershed people as soon as they come back.
Absolutely. Well, I think there's a lot of great hands on deck helping clean up Newport and breathe new life into just our community, and helping be stewards of our watershed and cleaning up Memphremagog, which has been, I wouldn't say neglected, but industrialized over the past century, and it's nice to see.
I've lived most of that century. Yes.
It's nice to see some care and some life brought back, and a bright future for Memphremagog and the Newport community.
Well, I'm awfully glad to hear that. The young people and some volunteers who are of other ages are bringing life into Newport in every possible way. But what I like most is the watershed group. They are seriously doing fantastic work. Water purification plant just opened up. I drank the water that came out of the big pipe. Went straight to the hospital. No, I'm kidding. Just had my stomach pumped. No, and it felt so good because, like I say, I used to be able to fall off of my ski in the lake and swallow a gallon of water, get right back up, and I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
But Giardia is now my middle name. But they're doing a fabulous job, and I'm so optimistic. And I'm optimistic because of you young people. And the more people you educate on what the lakes and the rivers and nature can hold, I wish you all good things.
I appreciate it.
And I'll see you all again.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can't believe this. Somebody else is running the camera and we're going to interview him soon. He said his own YouTube channel and he'll make this a better show because I'm terrible with camera. Well, look who we have here. Come here, Jay.
Hi,
Look who we have here. Ethan from J Cloud. And I've got to say, I've just given you a little blurb about how wonderful this bicycle service is, not to mention this bike. How did you get started with this?
Well, I've always just kind of grew up working on bikes and started working in a bike shop in college, in high school, continued through college.
Where was that?
At First Tracks in Montgomery. Actually, in the First Tracks East.
Johnny Ellis.
Yes, at the JVI parking lot, First Tracks East.
I remember
Back
that.
in the day, yes.
So, JVI parking lot, that was a good place for bikes. I left a bike there once, not a weird place. I just dropped my bike there and never had any room to put it. So I said to my grandson, you keep it. I don't think he ever rode it. But then now I've got a good bike, thanks to you.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the things you look for when you sell a bike to someone like me.
Well, try to see where you want to be riding it and what your idea of riding is, because biking is different to so many people, whether you're on the rail trail or here on the mountain bike trails, or a gravel rider or a road biker. Everybody's got different needs, and try to find the best bike for the type of riding you want to have, and make sure fit, comfortable is there as well.
You certainly did that for me. And many people come in there for racing bikes.
Yes, yeah. Have a lot of road bikers, Canadian road cyclists on the weekends come through. We fixed Michael Wood's bike, who is a top sprinter in the Tour de France once. It's pretty cool.
How did he find you? How did he find you?
He's just riding through. They come ride around JP because it's the biggest hills closest to Montreal, so it's 40 miles, 4,000 feet of elevation.
I have something for you to ask him. Now, I'm from Quebec. But when I see a bunch of Quebecers on the road, you can tell they've got little bottoms, and they ride a little tiny seats, and they're all hunched over. They got the perfect body-fitting suit, and they ride 5 abreast because they think these are country roads, but there are real roads.
Yes.
And I go by and turn down a window if I ever get by them, and say, you know, hand it as what? Single file.
Yes, single file is very important. Sometimes you can't be on the other side of the white line because the road is gone, but not riding 2 or 3 abreast should be part of every rider's etiquette to
Well,
ride.
the Quebec riders do not have that etiquette.
No, I think they're more concerned about their watts. Their maximum power output.
Maximum power output. Well, then draft off each other, for God's sakes. Don't come in front of me. I really am resentful of their bad behavior here. And I'm sorry if you're watching this in Quebec. Be polite. These 2-lane roads are our transportation. And we'd love to have you here. Mise en forme. 1 line. s'il vous plaît.
Do they do that in Canada too?
I ride on the trails up there, but I imagine they don't because they know that they're going to get killed because we're all bad drivers up there. I mean,
Trust the man.
when I learned how to drive in Quebec, it's like you close your eyes, you scream, and you put your foot to the mat, and it's called forcing traffic. That's why I don't drive much anywhere, because I'm totally petrified of the way I drive. So that's why I'm on my bike all the time.
Yeah, it's a much better way to go. Go by bike.
When you're on a gravel road, and I don't ride gravel, but what kind of tires are you using?
So it's a drop bar bike similar to the road bikes that all the Canadians are on, but it fits a much wider tire, so they're riding a 23 to 28 millimeter tire. The gravel tire will be 40 to 50 millimeters, almost as wide as a mountain.
Well, darn, I've seen them, but I don't ride gravel for obvious reasons. Gravity is not on my side. Now, in the winter, we've got the big balloon tires. Do you sell those?
Yes, yep, we ride all year round, the fat bikes, big studded tires.
Good stud is hard to find. Anyway, I'll tell you, I do not do that either, but it is becoming so popular to ride in the winter, and Denver Magog Trails offers mountain bike in the summer, and in the winter, cross country, snowshoe, and
Fat biking.
called fat bike. I can't believe how many I see, and they're so comfortable looking, and the people they're working, but it's coming along easily.
Yes, depending on the conditions. You want a nice firm surface, so the soft, fresh snow is very hard to ride in and through, washing out corners. But they groom the trails here with a snowmobile and a snow dog. All the old retired high school science
Watch who
teachers.
you're talking to here.
My old science teachers are the ones who groom all the trails
Who
here.
are they? What are their names?
Mike Kaiser,
Mike Kaiser.
Herb Baruch, Bob Primo,
I think Dr. Bob Primo is one of the most humble men I've ever met. And he and Ellie own this land.
Yeah, great
And
spot.
they offer it from their hearts to all of us. So we must be good stewards of the land because it's a gift. Anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, my love. Anyway,
see you.
good to see you, and thank you for my bike.
Yes, thank
It's
you. I'm glad
fabulous.
you're putting lots of miles on.
Yeah, well, I'm here with Cal and Moshe. And Callan is my videographer today, so for any of the bad things you see, it's Callan. So tell me a little bit about you. This young man is terrific. He's got
My
a
name's
bunch-
Callan Anthony Moshe. My dad owns a bike race called Rexton Pizza. This was actually, he owned Grateful before, and then he handed it over to Jeremiah. So, but I do YouTube and stuff like that. So go check me out on YouTube at 802 Lawn Landscaping, all caps.
LAWN, landscaping, one word?
Yes. All one word, and the and is the symbol.
Okay, very nice young man. Where do you go to school?
I go to, for elementary school, I used to go to Newport State Elementary, but now I go to the North Country Junior High up here in Derby. So,
And what do you want to be when you finish school?
when I finish school, my dream job is to be a state police officer.
Well, you've got all of the great stuff going on for that. I met this young man when he was directing traffic out on the road. How old are you?
I am 13.
He's 13 years old, and he's already directing traffic. Have you done a ride-along with the state police?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, I can't until I'm 18.
You look 18. What are they going to know? Are they going to check your ID? I'm such a bad influence on the younger generation. But I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing. You're obviously very proud of your father. You practically told me that when we were out on the road. And in fact, your dad gave this to Jeremiah and his group. I think they do a wonderful job with your dad's
Oh yes, they are.
origination.
Yeah, it's been 4 years in the process of doing this whole race.
What do you do on a bicycle?
I do mountain biking and road biking. So I do everywhere in Vermont. I haven't gone that far down to the bottom of Vermont, but I do it more Burt, some J, Newport Center, basically everywhere up here in the Northeast Kingdom.
You play sports at school?
Yes, I do soccer.
Did you see the Netflix show Beckham?
No, I have not.
Oh, I saw it. I love it. So, Beckham, if you're on Netflix at all, Bex, he's such a man filled with humility. After being cocky in his youth for good reason, number one, you're supposed to be that way when you're young.
Yep.
Number two, the way he evolved in his relationship with his wonderful wife and had the children and his parents. It's a wonderful family show to just fall in love with a great soccer player. I'll bet that's you. Yeah, maybe. Well, you're already proud of your parents. You're already athletic. You're already involved. And you train hard.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, sure hard.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. And he's a great videographer. Welcome back, and you'll never guess who I have here. I know your father-in-law. My father-in-law is a chemistry teacher at Enosburg High. When my children were going to school, one of the most popular students. One of the most popular teachers among the students. But right now, you're doing something else. You are living in Jay. Correct. And you have Nora's Beads.
Yes.
So, tell me a little bit about Nora's Beads.
Well, we started making Nora beads after my daughter Nora took her own life a couple of years ago, and she was just 14. And, it was just a way to be able to talk about her and share and encourage others to have the conversations that are hard about mental health and suicide by gathering and stringing beads. It just kind of opens up those pathways to connect, I think, with the community.
It's a very good, and one thing about that particular subject, which is probably the most difficult subject in the world, it's called suicide, taking one's own life. My brother did it, and I started a newspaper in his memory. It ran for 30 years, it went to 28 states and 4 countries. It's called The Optimist. That helped me more than it helped anybody else. This helps me. It does. And talking about it, one thing we noticed about living in this within a family, there becomes an immediate trapdoor that shuts about conversation. Yeah. And this is glorious. And not only is it glorious, it's for a good cause, and it's beautiful work. Did Nora beat?
You know, she didn't make bracelets. She wore bracelets. You know, she was 14 and had her arms covered in bracelets, and it was just kind of the thing. And after we lost her, you know, you want to hold on to something she has and wear it and have it close to you. And I couldn't fit her bracelets on me, and I didn't want to ruin them, so I started making my own using the stones that she liked, and it just kind of evolved into this way to connect and open up conversations. So
Opening up the conversation, who do you talk to now?
I get together mostly with students and educators. Meeting at schools with classes and talking about mental health and you know, having a trusted adult that you can go to when you're struggling, and just, you know, knowing that there are supports out there and people that care, and you know how important that each individual is and how loved everybody, you know, is. And I think that's easy to forget when you're struggling and you're really, you know, having a hard time. I think it's important to remember how loved you are and how much people want to help you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Knowing, you know, talking about the resources.
I think he's listening. He has an app on because he's listening to the podcast.
Oh, okay. Thank you. No, I was just wondering if, like,
yeah, and then my battery goes. Yeah, yeah. We're having a tough time with listening because there's so many conversations going on. But what we've just said was you have to keep talking and opening up the conversation, not only in memory of the person who lost, but to stop it from building up within you. And if you're feeling depressed, if you're having some mental health issues, please find a trusted adult. Talk to them. And if not a trusted adult, somebody. And don't be afraid to open up, because you're not the only one going through it, and you're certainly not the last. And not everybody has the right answers for you, but when you unburden yourself, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because no matter what you're going through, if you learn from it, admit it hurts, tell about your feelings, talk about coping skills, and see a light at the end of the tunnel, then it's worth getting through it. Not everybody does, but there's so many resources out there. It's not a big secret anymore. And you're helping make it public. Thank goodness for you.
There's a lot out there that I didn't know about until after I lost Nora, so I think getting ahead of it and acknowledging that it is a possibility, but it's preventable, is really important. And then knowing where to go for that extra help when you need it, and making sure that our kids, it's normalized with them and that they can get the help that they need too. I think that's really important. And you know, it might not be the parent that they go to when they have the problems. It can be a friend or something. But then being able to refer them to a trusted adult who, you know, whether it's a teacher or a coach or another parent of a friend, just somebody that can listen when you need it and get you help when you need more. Is really important, and so talking about it, normalizing it, I guess that's where we start.
Do you ever talk to students about the after effects of bullying? Because I believe that has an awful lot to do with it. Cyberbullying is very big. It wasn't even invented when I was a teenager. It wasn't invented when my brother ended his life. But bullying is bullying is bullying. And it's so blinking cruel. And it's only the insecure people who bully. So if you're bullying anybody, you take a look in the mirror. Okay. You're surrounded by all the little bumblebees and all the little people who boost you up and say, hey, 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 you're so cool. Let's be mean to this person because we're a team. Well, that person might be alone. That person might not have anybody buzzing around them. Don't diminish them. Don't you dare, because we'll get you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's something that's really present in our age today with social media, and you're not having that real connection, and so I think that when you're not feeling that real connection, it's a lot easier to say things that are unkind and not realize that it has a real impact. And I think being compassionate with one another is really important. Really thinking about, just even how you look at somebody or respond to them, how they're going to take it, or how you might take it.
And put yourself in their shoes. It's a really good thing to do. How would you feel if somebody came up and bullied you? And one thing we have going for us today is Callum, who is our videographer, and he suggested we talk about the National Crisis Helpline, the National Suicide Prevention number.
Yeah, the national lifeline is 988, and so like 911, it's very easy to remember, and it's something that you can call when you just need someone to talk to. You don't necessarily have to be in crisis, but maybe you need a sounding board or somebody just to kind of get you through or to direct you. If you call 988, also it's a warm line, so if you are worried about a friend who is really struggling or maybe having suicidal thoughts, you can call 988 and get guidance on how to help them further. So it's really important. The people that answer the line are trained professionals to help you through crisis. The calls are answered based on the area that you're calling from, and so you're going to get, if you're in Newport, you're going to get somebody local that's answering that call, so they can direct you to the resources that are in our local community, which is really important.
And they're anonymous, right?
They are, yes. It is. It's confidential. It's free. It's available 24/7. Like if you were, say you're in Connecticut or another state and you're having a crisis, if you were to call there, you're going to get resources in Connecticut or wherever you're calling from. So I think the important thing to remember is that the crisis line is equipped to help people where they are and getting them connected to the resources in the local area where they are too. You're not just getting an answering service in California or something like that. So they will equip you and follow up with you too on whether you received the help or were able to connect with somebody to help you through.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Susan. I appreciate this. When you take something negative and make it into something wonderful for the world, you're doing great work. You're doing great work. Yeah. Wonderful quality, very light, very good material, and I love it. So, and some of it's also talking about the next race you might want to do, that's Brown Sap Run. If you haven't done it already, maybe that's something you'd be interested in doing. And right here, some of the things you don't know about biking is that the gloves are extremely important. Not only for shock absorbency, your hands get cold, but these are particularly made to be able to change gears and stay warm. And shock absorbency is built in. When you know this equipment is available, there's no reason not to go biking. Comfort cannot be a problem. And I don't know what some of these things are. This must be for the drinks. Very, very light. Any equipment you put on a bike doesn't do you any good if it weighs 7 pounds. Bad enough to get your weight on it, right? Yeah. And these are from Colorado. Chances are Bevan brought these, and Bevan is making Newport a bike-riding friendly town and speaks highly of Colorado all the time. So, thank you, Bevan. And I think, what else do we have? Sound systems. When I'm training hard, I need about 3,000 calories a day. When I'm on a long training ride, which I do 6 days a week, usually 42 miles is my average, sometimes 50. I bring things from home that are easy to carry, easy to open, and easy to digest. These are some of the small things you can have. This group is called Kate's Real Food. I make my own. Heather's Real Food. But maple syrup is an extremely excellent product. My grandson and my cousin make mine, so I don't have to buy any. But it's a really healthy way to perk up your energy, and I highly recommend it. I know all of you living in Vermont know that that's the truth already, but if you're planning to do any kind of endurance event, load up on this during your training. Don't start anything new on the day of the race. Just work your way into it, make your system completely accustomed to what you're doing, and then on the day of the race, you'll have stuff, you'll know your routine, you'll know what to eat that keep you going strong until the finish line. So, that's it.